Man versus gun.
Hello shooters, thanks for watching. This video is going to be the explanation or the glossary, the user's manual for the next series of Man versus Gun. This is going to be Man versus Handgun. I've had some requests saying, hey T.I., why don't you do Man versus Gun with handguns? So that's where we're going to start. And so this is the first video of that. This can explain the methodology behind the Man versus Handgun series. Remember, the goal with all firearms is that all the controls be mirror image, so we don't have to use a different manual of arms, whether we're using it right-handed or left-handed. Because the goal for us, skill-wise, is to be able to utilize the firearms, long guns, short guns, equally as well left-handed or right-handed. Because we may not always have one of the hands available. We'll be busy, shot, doing something else. So the goal is mirror image. The testing criteria that I'm going to use, I've thought about what I'm going to do for the shooting portion. Like the long gun series, we did type 3 malfunction clearance drills, we did snapshots, we did targets up close. I've done some playing around with some handgun tests for the Man versus Handgun series. I didn't come up with a good one. Most of it was totally shooter-based skill. In other words, the variation in long arms can be great with regard to how you control them and how you work them. But with handguns, especially nowadays, there's so many high-quality handguns that have controls. Manufacturers are getting so the controls are all in the right place with handguns. And so any test that I would come up with was mostly a skills test and not necessarily show the idiosyncrasies of the handgun. So there's going to be some shooting, but not for part of a test like there was for the Man versus Long Gun series. This is the weight, the criteria we're going to use for Man versus Handgun. Weight. The heavier it is, the worse it is, because you're not going to want to carry it. It's heavier to carry, so the heavier is bad. The width. Since we're talking full-size fighting handguns, even if you're a big dude, the wider the handgun, the harder it is to conceal. So the width is going to be, we're going to measure the width on all the different handguns too. The receiver type makes a difference just because of how it feels in different, whether it's hot or cold. Some types of materials feel better than others during extreme temperatures. So we're going to notate the type of material that the receiver is made out of. Back straps, are they adjustable? Are they not? Do they come with a variety of back straps? Same with the grips, like on a 1911 or like an M92 Beretta or a CZ75. Some of those you can get different grips. You can make them more ergonomic. You can make them feel better in your hand. You can make them wider. You can make them thinner. Some of the new polymer guns have adjustable side straps. So can you change out the grips or can you change out the side straps? That's important to know. Trigger pull. The most important thing about a trigger pull is it's the same every time from a fighting standpoint. So you don't have to learn two different trigger pulls with the same firearm. Even if it's longer and harder, it needs to be the same all the time. Not all handguns do that. We'll notate that. The magazine well, is it flared to help insertion of a new magazine under stress or speed? The magazine floor plate, the base plate. Is it type 3 malfunction clearance drill one-handed? Is it one-handed type 3 malfunction clearance drill friendly? Not all magazines from the manufacturers come with base plates that are easy to strip out of the handgun one-handed for a type 3 malfunction clearance drill. We'll go over that. Mag release, is it in the right spot? Some of the old school ones, no modern ones, but like the P38, there's a little lever down here by the magazine. That's obviously not the best place in the world to put it. All magazines releases today are right behind the trigger guard where they ought to be. But is it mirror image? Is the safety location? Some of the, like the Beretta 92 with the slide mounted safety, that's a sucky place to put a safety. In fact, it can be dangerous. We'll go over that when we go over the 92F. If it has a frame mounted safety, is it on both sides? Is it mirror image? The slide catch, the slide release, same thing. One side, both sides, is it on the same side? Is it mirror image? Is it just ambidextrous? Rear sight, is the rear sight one-handed type 3 malfunction clearance drill friendly? When you're trying to rack a slide one-handed, Some sights that come from the factory really suck. They don't help you at all. They're no good. Some of them work really good for doing a one-handed Type 3 malfunction clearance drill. And we're going to go over the front sight. Plastic front sights suck compared to steel front sights or aluminum. So we'll talk about the front sight and how that applies to man versus handgun. And the final category nowadays is cropping up with some different makes. Is the firearm optics compatible? A lot of people are running small red dots on their slide of their firearm, and I see that only happening more and more and more and more as time goes on. So that's going to be an important characteristic of a fighting handgun as to whether it's optics compatible. So anyhow, we're going to be doing a whole bunch of different. We're going to be doing some old school ones just to kind of set a baseline. Going to get a like a as issued 1911 with the little teeny sights and all that stuff, and we're going to also put a German Luger through the man versus handgun series. I don't think that'll score very high because that was the first successful semi-auto handgun in the world, so gotta cut it some slack. But it'll be cool to shoot that as a baseline. Then we're going to do Beretta 92F, Glock, Smith & Wesson M&P, blah blah blah. We're living in the golden age right now of fighting handguns, so there's a ton of them out there that can do the job. So anyhow, I hope you look forward to the series. I'm looking forward to making the series for you. Again, thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, comments, please post them below. And as always, have a good day.
Okay, so here's the scoring on this thing. Inferior is 1, superior is 5. That's the numbers we use. We're going to go to weight first. Obviously 40 ounces is too heavy. We want to try and get down near the 25 ounce mark, so we'll score it accordingly according to weight. Width, the thinner the better, to a degree. Over 1.5 inches is too thick. Want to get under 1.22, so we'll score that there. The receiver, what it's made out of and the design of it, just basically give it a score there. Backstrap, the design of that, are they adjustable? And it's just not just the new plastic ones. The 1911 has adjustable backstrap per se. How many points you can adjust it, that'll help. Side panels, this is for like the 1911 type guns where you can change out side panels. Or some of the newer ones like the HKP30 and the VP9. Trigger pull, is it long and gritty or is it short and sweet? I'll give a score there. And also, is it the same all the time? If it's not the same all the time, it's going to get a lower score. The more consistent the trigger pull, the better. Is the magazine well flared? Single stacks need to have a flared magazine because the magazine is straight. Double stacks is not as important, but it still helps. The magazine, how's the design of the magazine? Is it good and robust and worthy to take a few hits on the ground? The base plate, is it good for one-handed manipulations? So it needs to stick out from the handgun a little bit. Magazine release, location, that's pretty much all going to be a 5. But is it mirror image or not? That's going to be scored accordingly. The safety, what's the design of the safety? Where's its location? And is it mirror image or not? Those are all going to be points of interest to our scoreboard here. And the slide catch release, how's the design on that? Does it stick out too much? Does it not stick out enough? Is it mirror image or is it only on one side? You get scored there accordingly. Rear sight, is it big enough yet small enough? Is it type 3 malfunction clearance? Not type 3. Is it actually, I'm going to change this here. Is it one-handed malfunctions clearance friendly? So does it stick up enough to catch on a belt or a holster or something? And the front side, is it too fat, too high, not skinny enough? Blah, blah. Light rail, does it have a light rail? If it does, how many points can you some light rails just have one spot you can put it there. Is it optics compatible or not? Possible score 115, and this will give the total score there. So this is where I'll judge all the handguns that I'm going to be shooting. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.